Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Health and Home with Stephanie. In today's episode, we are at 22nd Barbell in Johnston, Iowa, and we are going to take you along for a strength training session with my coach, Wes. So Wes is not only the owner of 22nd Barbell, but he is also a strongman competitor himself, as well as an ultramarathon runner. I'm super excited to have him on today's show to be sharing with all of you his knowledge. Wes is an incredible coach because he gets to know his clients. He learns what their personal goals are, whether you are looking to be competitive in strength competition, whether you are a high school student who is looking to gain skill and strength for your specific sport. Maybe you're a mom who's looking to maintain tone and fitness, as well as to those that are looking to build stability and balance so that as they age, they have the greatest quality of life. So today we're going to be working on the foundations. So we're going to be addressing the 3 basic moves for strength competitions. So we're going to be looking at the squat, we are going to be looking at the bench press, and then lastly we're going to be talking about the deadlift. All right, perfect, Wes. Let's get started with the squat.
Awesome. So when we teach a squat, Stephanie, we're going to teach from the ground up. Yeah, the ground is that initial contact with our energy source. Think about if this was you were standing on a surfboard in the ocean, right? And if you're swaying back and forth, that wouldn't be a very good stability source. All right, so we want to be able to be grounded and rooted. So when we push into this ground, what is it doing back at you?
Giving me feedback, telling you where it is.
Yep, so it's pushing back at you. So the harder you can push in this ground, the more energy you're gonna get back out of it, right? And that energy becomes kinetic energy, comes through your body, and it can be released into a bar. So we find the most important part of this squat starts with the feet. So when we discuss, footwear becomes a big issue here. And a lot of people come in to squat, you'll see them wearing foam shoes, or shoes that you have on. This is kind of the lesser of 2 evils, but what we still have a problem with this footwear is we're squishing the toe. So let's take one shoe off for me, would you? And I want the widest point of your foot to be out front here. So this should be the widest point. So 3 big points of contact. Big toe, little toe, heel. And I want to create a neutral arch line. So we're looking for this line right here to be nice and clean. Yep, so right here would be a collapsed arch, right? This arch would be too tall. Neutral is the middle of those 2. We want to be able to maintain neutral. Yeah, so now that we can get the feet in the proper position, so we're looking for this neutral arch line. This is a lot easier said than done. See a lot of people with a collapsed in arches right here. All right, so we want to be able to strengthen the feet and maintain neutral throughout this movement. Again, that's going to drive the knee out, create torque in the hip, cause the big muscles of the glutes to turn on. All right, if we can maintain that neutral foot, we're looking that we can keep the spine neutral. All right, so why do you think that a neutral spine is going to produce the most amount of energy?
You have all your vertebrae stacked on top of each other.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, so we start to causing shear forces. You know, we don't want any twisting or bending of the spine. Now, neutral has a little bit of play to it, right? So it doesn't have to be this rigid. There's a little bit of play to this, but for the most part, we're trying to be as stiff as we can from here to here. All right, so a good example would be, imagine you had a 2x4 from here to here, and then we're gonna go throughout our movement. So we have neutral foot, and then number 2, we have a neutral spine. And so the number 3 is head position. We're gonna talk about where we're looking and why we're looking there. All right, so head position is again, we're gonna be neutral, all right? So this theme comes up all the time. So I'm always coaching neutral positions. And then once we can maintain that body weight, we're gonna put a bar on your back and go through neutral positions with the bar on your back. But we're looking to be neutral by bringing your chin into your throat, okay? So another good way to look at this is your ear lines up with your shoulder, or we pulled a string on the back of your head right here, okay? So a lot of people, when they start that squat off, is they're gonna wanna go. And initially they throw their head. Well, this is me being an extension right away. So I wanna be here, here, complete. So and I know we've worked on this before, so let's work on all 3 of these again, just trying to maintain neutral with the foot, neutral in the spine, and neutral in the head. So go ahead and let's do some body weight squatting. Good, and when you do that, yep. Okay, so right away, your first squat is you threw your chin to that wall, okay? So you went to extension in the neck. So let's work on just maintaining neutral throughout your movement. So let's tuck your chin even more, there you go. Now let's bring your vision down, stop right there, tuck your chin. Good, now drive your knees out wider, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now keep dropping down, keep going. Good, now let's come back up. There you go. Give me 5 more like that. 1. Yeah, good, there you go. What's the biggest muscle of the body?
Your glutes.
Glutes, okay, so now we're active. This movement right here in the position that you're in is the biggest contraction of the glutes that we can get in the gym. All right, so now let's come up from right there. Good, give me 3 more. We talk about driving that big toe in and the knee staying out. Red, there we go, that's what we're after. Good, now come back up. Now let's watch. I want to see a side angle of what's going on right here. So let's watch, keep coming down. So right here, we're neutral, we're neutral, we're neutral. And then what happens at the end is we get a little bit of a turn under. That's called a butt wink. All right. And so a lot of this, and a lot of people get hurt right there when their hips turn under. So if you were to start an extension, if you were to start to be an extension and you come down at that last little bit, your hips turn under and you have to round. So that happens a lot. You see a lot of people do that. So they only squat to right here because they know if they go any lower that they're gonna get that butt wink, all right? Well, we're missing out on a ton of development by missing that last couple inches. A squat refers to the crease of the hip dropping below the knee. Let's just do a 90-degree squat. So if we're not sure, we can load to here. And as long as we're maintaining neutral in the foot, and just have your hands out in front of you like you're gonna hit a volleyball. Yep, okay. There you go. Go ahead and go to 90 degrees. And what we're looking to stop right there, 90 degrees with the upper leg and lower leg. So this would be 90, and this would be 90. So this is a good example of a 90-degree squat. But for full glute contractions, we're looking for the crease of the hip to drop below the top of the knee. And those knees driven way out, that's full glute right there, boom. This is also a power squat. So in the sport of powerlifting, the crease of the hip has to drop below the knee. All right, now you see, when Stephanie gets in this position, you see how collapsed her torso is? So you say, well, wow, how can I put a bar in her back with this collapsed torso? This bar could actually go to a low bar position, which is a sport-specific movement that we use in powerlifting. 99.9% of the people in the gym are just tossing a bar in their upper back. So really what's going on here is the reason why you get the butt wink and the reason why you're collapsing forward is because the heel cord right here. So let's go back through the squat one more time. As you squat, the shins have to drive forward. Okay, so stop right there, right? So this is all the further the stretch that this is allowing right here. Sorry, I know your legs are burning. This is all the further the stretch. So if you want to keep this upright torso right now, you actually have to raise your heel up off the ground. Yeah, to maintain. All right, so you don't want to do that. You know that dumps everything to do the toes.
Yep.
So in order for you to go any lower, you got to just keep pancaking down, right? That's good. Come back up. So you say, well, we just have to be able to get the shins to go further forward. For your torso to be more upright, your shins have to go forward more. So let's do this squat again, and let's just use these mats. That's what they're here for. And we're just going to use 2 of them. And then just put your heels up on that. So just probably have a 1/4 of an inch right there. And you'll see her torso angle changes big time here. So this is just going to allow her shins to travel forward more. Good. Drive your knees out. So see how much taller her torso is now? So now a bar can fit right on her traps, her upper back, and that bar should always cut your middle of your foot in half. So the knot of your foot right here. So we're looking for a perfect line right there. That's a good high bar position. So if she's going to squat in the gym and go past 90 degrees, past parallel, she should elevate her feet a 1/4 of an inch. Go ahead and come back up. And let's load that same squat with a barbell on your back.
Okay, Wes, so where do I put my hands? Do I put them in close? Do I put them far out? People hold the bar in different places.
Yeah, this is a really good question. So when we talk addressing the bar, how we get the bar out of the rack is going to be the same every single time. And it's actually the most important part of our squat. And why do you think our initial contact with the bar is the most important?
It's your starting point.
Yeah, so your spine's already you're right, your starting point. Your spine's, as soon as you put this bar on your back, your spine's already being squished. then you can't just be like, okay, now I'm gonna get tight.
Right.
Now I'm gonna adjust everything. You need to have everything adjusted and tight right away. So we want this routine. We call it the 6-inch squat. We want to be able to squat. This 6-inch squat sets the tone of how we're going to do everything outside of this rack. So this becomes the most important part. So the first step of that, Stephanie, is we are going to get our grip even every time. All right, so the bars have these Olympic marks right here. So we can always put, there's always some kind of a gauge to where our hands need to go. All right, based on shoulder mobility and kind of anything elbow going on, we usually start with the pinkies on the ring. All right, you can bring them in even tighter and put about thumb space away from the slick part of the bar. Yep, that could work too. If you notice there's too much stress on the elbows or if your wrists are really bending back to do that, bring your hands out a little bit.
Okay.
Yep, so let's just start with pinkies on the ring. Good. So now when we step underneath the bar, we're gonna get this bar in your upper back. Yeah, so the position of the bar on Stephanie's back here, this would be considered a high bar position. So almost a modified high bar. All right, show everybody a low bar position. So the bar would be lower down. It's actually sitting on your rear delts on your rhomboid. We're gonna bring the bar up on your trapezius. So you have the trap muscles up here, okay? So this upper back has to stay nice and tight. I'm sure you're getting tired of doing this, but we're gonna squeeze. When I see the white knuckles, I know we're in a good position. We're squeezing and we're bringing nice and tight. And so the next step is to get the midfoot underneath the bar, and she's already done that. Her midfoot is going to get underneath this bar, and her hips are gonna stay underneath this bar. Good, now she's gonna stand straight up with that. So up, yep, that's perfect. Good, now we're walking it back. Really, hey, Stephanie, rack it just real quick
yeah,
again.
sorry, excited.
Yep, you're fine, you're fine. So this part, no, come back out real quick. Let's just talk about that 6-inch squat. Now, why don't we want to take a ton of steps on the way out of the rack?
Because I'm already set, so I'm in my position, and then the more that I'm moving back or moving forward, the less stability that I have from my head all the way down to my toes.
Sure, yeah. This time, every time we put this bar in our back and it's being loaded, it's energy being expended. All right. So in the sport of powerlifting, we want to lift one rep really heavy. So we want our squat and walkout to be really efficient. We don't want any wasted energy going into the walkout. So we want our steps down to 3 to 4. All right. So no more than 3 or 4 steps on the way out.
Okay.
All right. So hands on the bar. Find that position in your back. We'll say upper back tightness a lot, all right? Now, a lot of people get our upper back tight by driving their elbows up. We actually don't want to do that. You want to bring your elbows down and pull them like you're trying to pull your elbows to your back pockets, all right? Imagine you have some jeans on your back pockets right there. Yep. Now, careful we're not extending right here. We're nice and tight, yep, on the abs. Midfoot underneath the bar. Now we're standing up with that. There's 300 pounds on that. She could stand up from that position, right? There you go. There was a 2-stepper. That's really good, Stephanie. So now let's go through your squat, okay? Let's take a big breath of air. Good, now let's sit back into it. There you go, drive your knees open. Yep, there it is. Good, come right back up. Terrific. Good, one more. Good. Good, come back up. All right, rack it. Okay, so let's talk about when you set that breath of air.
Okay.
Okay, you set it in your mouth, and where did it go? Talk to me about where it went.
To my belly.
Okay, where's that at?
Up here.
That's in your chest. Now push it to your belly. Okay, nope, hold it.
Oh.
Hold it. Now hold it down. There you go. Okay, now think about putting your air in your low back. So take a big breath of air. Now push it down. There you go. Lower. There you go. That's where that's where you want it. You want that air into that low back. So if we are wearing a belt, a lot of people wear a belt and then they go to a chest breath. Well, watch what a big chest breath does. So if I take a big chest breath, I go, I'm in the extension of my lumbar spine. So as soon as you stepped out and took your breath, you went to tall chest, right? So we actually want to go and push that down. Fill that gap in that belt. Mm-hmm. That little gap, that's where belts become a good reminder. So let's toss your belt on real quick. That's good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so this little space right here, so, yep. So there's gonna be some wiggle room back there. So now take a big breath of air. Now fill that up so I can't get my fingers in there. Push against there, push and hold there. It's better. Fill that gap
I
up even
can't.
more. Yep, big breath. Now fill right here. Now push against that. There you go. That's better. That's your squat position, okay? So it's actually pelvic floor breathing. You're almost pulling up as you're pushing down at the same time.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, terrific. Good job with your stance. Good on rack. Yeah, two-stepper, that's perfect. Big breath of air, fill that gap up. Drive your elbows down, good. Good. Use those big toes and drive those knees out. Give me 2 more. Good, there you go. Terrific. Don't hang out down there, come right back up, okay? There you go. That's a good squat. Good, now rack it this time by hitting those uprights. There you go, perfect. Yeah, terrific. That was good.
Good.
That was really good.